Right lads, I'm your host of Man And His Kebab. Right, throw your minds back to 2017. Neymar just signed to PSG for more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Kim Jong-un was busy firing bottle rockets towards Japan, and Fortnite had just began its 2-year reign of terror. However, amongst all of this, one of the biggest groups on the internet was going to spend the better part of a month insulting each other's mothers, girlfriends, and ability to make music. I'm of course talking about the infamous Sidemen Beef. So, who are the Sidemen? Do I really need to explain this? Well, for anybody who's been living under a rock for the past 6 to 7 years, or live in freedom land. The Sidemen are a group of 7 British YouTubers comprising of KSI, also known as JJ, who's often seen as the front man of the group due to him being, the most popular. Simon Miniminter, Harry Wrote to Shaw, Vik, commonly followed by Star, Josh Zerka, Ethan Bazinga, and Tobe Jizzle. The second name in all them cases being their nickname or channel name. These 7 have absolutely dominated the YouTube scene in the UK, with their videos commonly pulling in millions of views within the first hour to day of upload. The videos on the surface may seem to draw on viewers due to their outlandish nature, but make no mistakes about this, these guys are popular due to their strong personalities and the chemistry between them all. However, back in 2017, these 7 personalities would clash in one of the biggest events and possibly publicity stunts to ever grace YouTube. So it's August 2017, and JJ is in LA with the Clout House. I'm just glad I wasn't the one who chose the name. With Rice Gum, Face Banks, and a few others. While JJ's there, he decides he wants to stay in LA for longer in order to grow his channel. And as a result, he announces he's leaving the Sidemen in a video posted on August 6th. In the video, he claims his primary reasons for leaving the Sidemen is because of Ethan, and proceeds to throw a few shots Ethan's way. Now Ethan and JJ are probably the 2 most polarizing members of the Sidemen. They're obviously friends, but they often clash and seem to have this fuck you, it's fun being mean to you type relationship. So the video goes live, and a day later, Ethan drops drama. Not the word, it's a diss track on KSI. Now Ethan didn't go heavy in on KSI. Yeah, I feel like a 14-year-old has just discovered hip-hop saying that. But it was enough to spark a response from KSI. But then Harry decided to drop his input a day later. This is one of my favourite YouTube videos of all time. Harry has always been one to say what's on his mind, no matter how controversial that may be, and that's pretty easy to see here. He calls KSI and his brother Deji, I'm just gonna say slow, compares his girlfriend to a fish market, and basically calls his music shit. Mind you, all while being dressed like Macklemore in the thrift shop music video. The fact that won a Grammy still shocks me to this day. Now before we get into JJ's replies, I'd like to take a minute to introduce a few more characters to this story. First up is Joe Weller, another YouTuber famous for his internet melts videos and his exploring abandoned places videos, who also had beef with KSI and was set to fight him in a boxing match in early 2018. Joe wasn't heavily involved in all the diss tracks, but he does have a role in all this, so I felt it necessary to include him. Deji, also known as Comedy Shorts Gamer, also known as KSI's little brother, was himself involved in all this beef, after he had tweeted about joining the Sidemen, only to be shut down by Simon, which then sparked a Twitter feud and diss track by Deji towards the Sidemen. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it's not great. I mean, I'm no music connoisseur, but just look at some of the lyrics, like, why? Anyways, we'll come back to that soon, but it was time for a response from KSI towards Ethan and Harry with a sneaky feature from Rice Gum. Yeah, remember that guy? I kind of sometimes wonder what happened to him. Maybe Twitch streams or something, I don't know. Then again, me saying that will probably result in him just tweeting at me, calling me irrelevant, But yeah, Earthquake. It's basically 3 minutes of KSI calling Ethan fat. So much so that they paid some random guy $200 for an hour just to walk around with a hamburger and look like Ethan. But a dedication to the diss, I suppose. The one towards Harry, little boy, was a bit more in depth. Basically calling him a drug addict, which that always happens. Insults his girlfriend in more ways than one, and claims his mother engages in heinous acts with Cheap. He also throws shade at Chris MD, who himself made a sarcastic diss track towards pretty much everybody. I'm telling you, if they ever do an internet history course in schools, this series better be on the curriculum. Right, we're back to Deji's antics. On the same day that Ethan dropped Earthquake, Simon dropped KSI's little brother. Not actually, punched him. That's the name of the song. And that song is probably the best sounding out of all of them, in my humble opinion. Right, we have a basic rundown of the lyrics. Claiming his parents are his only friends, claiming he was doing all this just for the views, which I'm pretty sure all of you guys admitted that you were all doing that. And of course, the claims of, yeah, I'll just let you guys read that. Next up was Vik's Java Deji, which was probably the most unexpected out of all of them. It's on the shorter side, but over an Indian beat, Vik proceeds to call Deji stupid, which, fair enough, claims he's lacking in the trouser department, and claiming that he has his mother on payroll for more heinous acts. And finally, we return to KSI, Ethan, and Harry for one final round to finish things off. Starting off with the appropriately named Finished by Ethan. I'm going to be honest, it was a lot of the same as his first. The same cannot be said for Harry, however, who was arguably more brutal than his first attempt. More fat jokes, exposing him for doing substances, and worst of all, releasing an excerpt of a song that KSI had written for his ex. Yeah, I thought these guys were friends, but and finally, KSI released Two Birds with the One Stone, or is it Two Birds with One Stone? I don't know, it was a diss towards Harry and Joe Weller anyway. Joe Weller. Yeah, remember I mentioned him earlier, that's him here. Yeah, this was around the point I'd kind of stopped caring about the whole drama, to be honest. But JJ had thrown in a few good jabs against Joe, and a few more jabs 4 months later in the ring. He also once again brought up the fact that Harry does substances, and that he had stolen Ethan's Nissan GTR, and that was essentially the end of the beef. However, JJ and a guy called Net Nobody, better known to most of us as Skydus Minecraft, had beef for a short period. But it's not entirely relevant to this story, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. However, I think the question that everybody was asking both during and especially afterwards was this all just a big publicity stunt? And the answer is yes and no. So yes, essentially the whole idea of KSI leaving the Sidemen and the disses were intended to, and did indeed gain, a lot of views and publicity for the group, who although were still huge at the time, this really propelled them to where they are now. However, the insults themselves, yeah, those were pretty real. The insults between JJ and Ethan were revealed to pretty much just be jokes. However, between JJ and Harry, it was revealed that both of them had kind of pushed the boundaries, and the two didn't like each other for a while. However, eventually, they did make up. And the whole thing with Deji, well, the insults by the Sidemen may have not been in bad taste, but Deji is notorious for not being able to take a joke, so it was kind of semi-genuine. So what was the impact of the Sidemen beef? Well, it made them explode in popularity, didn't it? Many of those involved were gaining up to 50k subs a day throughout the month of August, and with added publicity from channels like Drama Alert reporting on the beef, and other channels reacting to the diss tracks, it truly pushed the Sidemen to the centre of attention. It also sparked a diss track trend, which still continued into late 2018, still involving JJ in some cases, but other YouTubers like iDubbbz, Randolph, Logan Paul, and the king of YouTube himself, PewDiePie. And that was the Sidemen beef, a significant event on YouTube, but also the internet as a whole. And who knows, maybe something similar be sparked in the Irish YouTube scene. Yeah, I'm coming for you, call me Kevin.